back in the pocket.
All
In the pocket from the LI Nano Cask Festival, Rocky Point Clubhouse, with a brewer.
Yes.
An actual brewer.
An actual brewer.
Not just a pretend one. I only play one on TV.
Now it's when it gets real, because these are the workhorses.
That's right.
Right here. Brian Baker, welcome, man.
Thank you for having me.
Bellport Brewing. My God, I know you work your tail off to make the best beer.
We try. Yeah, we try. We try.
And
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Not much. We're doing exactly that. We're working like crazy, and we're trying to get the most beer we can out there for the most people to have.
Brian, what does an occasion, an event like this mean to you guys? I mean, this is really I'm sorry to use this word. It's a coming out party, because you're bringing stuff here that you just never normally put out. Am I correct?
No, it's 100%, because we do. The biggest thing about this beer is we've never brewed it before, so we're not 100% sure if we're going to get an infection out of here, if we're going to get anything that we don't want in here. We're very confident in our equipment. Everything at the brewery is top notch, and we're real happy with everything that's working at the brewery. But the best thing about this festival, in a nutshell, here is the intimacy here.
Yes.
We go to these other festivals where there's 50 brewers here, and you get lost.
Let's show some intimacy. Is that the kind of intimacy you're speaking about?
I love it. You know what? I get to talk to some of these people that have never had my beer before, and they ask me questions, and then they keep at the next question, which I love. Where can I get it? That's the best question that I get all day.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That's your guys right there on the left, right? Left side of the screen, kind of serving up
That's
there?
them, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Right past the fireplace.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
exactly right. Yeah, hopefully they're still, they're busy.
So for the layman out there, what does it take? What did you bring? How long did it take to make?
Right.
And what did you bring today?
So we brought a chocolate rye ale beer, and it took us about a month to brew and to ferment out, and it's something that. Like I said, I've never brewed before on this scale. I've brewed it as a home brewer before, and we're only a year old at this point, so a lot of the beers that we're making that aren't on the calendar for the year, they're one-offs. Just like this one, this is a one-off beer. With the people that have been saying about it, I think we're probably going to end up brewing it again. But it's a one-off beer, so we used a lot of rye in it, and one of the biggest things, as a brewer would know, rye is something that normally gives brewers a problem when you use it in larger quantities, especially when you're making a mash with it.
Yeah, I remember the first time we made rye beer for the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Right.
We made a rye beer. It was insane. Everything was clogged up and getting our hands in the mash.
Yeah,
and
exactly right. Whatever you have to do to make it happen. So we were concerned about that. So we just went underneath the threshold of what is required for right before people get mash stuck mash. So it worked out real well. We had a great brew day for it. It came out fantastic. We used a couple of ingredients that we normally use. Exactly right. The grain itself is a chocolate rye grain, which is not very popular.
Are you tasting that now? Which one are you tasting?
Well,
or which one can you taste?
I could be.
Please.
I'll drink anything you put in front of me, man.
Please.
I'm easy. Yeah.
Please. As our local chemist, Donovan Hall, is about to taste.
So this is
Mexican chocolate.
Mexican chocolate.
Yep.
All right. Everybody should know this.
Silence.
Okay, I'm taking in the bouquet at the moment. It's very sophisticated. Because I'm a trained professional.
Put the fingers out.
I should mention that Patrick Gaeta is in the room, and he's taking. If you're
Wow.
wondering if there are flashes from 1969, no, they're real flashes.
Now, this is my first time tasting this, and the first thing that I get.
Don't just say anything. I want to get good stuff.
The first thing that I get is this is full body.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things to sink your teeth into here.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's a really good festival beer, because one of the things we talk about with this kind of environment, I know we keep it small,
Right.
but everybody tends to go a little big, and we've got the things we make on a regular basis are a little delicate. So when we come here, we're thinking, all right, we've got to bump it up a bit.
Right.
This is full flavored, lots of malt, lots of chocolatey. It's like drinking almost. It has that kind of milkshakey, chocolatey to us. And
Hello.
I have to share a glass with this guy.
Yeah, you do.
All right,
Yes, you do.
One more sip, and wow. Okay. Underneath all of this, there's that initial sweetness. You get a beer underneath that has some bitterness to it. So it balances out. You get a whole presentation. It starts off like. It wants to make love to you, and then it backs off and says, "All right."
Did you ever? Maybe he's your marketing rep.
If you want more, you got to come back.
You got to keep going.
Because I'm gonna leave you dry if you don't come back.
Sounds like life.
I like it.
This is what this beer says to me.
All right, I have one in front of me, and I'll share it with you if you'd like. What is this called, Brian?
That's the raspberry variant.
So, when people hear raspberry beer, right? Are there real raspberries in it, or how do you get those notes?
They're frozen raspberries.
So there's raspberries.
Of course there's raspberries. Sure. Absolutely.
Before they were frozen, they were real.
They were real.
We're live. We're doing a lot of cool stuff here, but we don't have smell-o-vision. I wish we did because it smells like.
It'd be awesome.
You'd scratch it. Yeah. One of the things I did when I was first starting my whole
That's a beer I would buy all the time. I'm
odyssey
serious. Try that.
into craft beer and learning about tasting. I would listen to a lot of beer podcasts, a lot of nerdy dudes sitting around drinking beer and go, "Ooh, this smells really good. Oh, it's got so much." I'm like, after a couple of years, I thought, I'm listening to guys drinking beer. I should probably get out and see the world.
I'm going to listen to people drinking beer, right? I get it.
All right, let's move over to the. Go ahead.
Let me just react here. The intense
Yeah,
raspberry
intense.
nose here is most pleasing. A lot of times when you have raspberry in the beer, it's very weak. Like I can think of a couple of commercial beers which I will not name because I'm a nice guy that are wimpy. This
I completely
is not wimpy.
agree.
This is like reaching out and grabbing my olfactory nerves. And
Brian,
going,
when you come out for the packaging of this,
Right.
you need 3D raspberries coming off the
I
carton.
love it.
wow,
Yeah,
how did you do this?
It's burstful.
I mean,
It is.
Well, so
what do you do to coax raspberries to do this to your nose when it's in the beer?
It's so much easier. I wish it was so much more complicated than that. You ready for it? I throw it into.
Don't make it easy. Don't make it easy.
Into a hot bag and then into the cask.
The secrets are out. That's good.
It's awful. I know. I know.
All right, you're not going to get this kind of inside information anywhere else.
It's good stuff.
Thank
All
you.
right, now
Thank you.
I want to talk because I'm always so enamored by this, the business of being a nano brewer, if you will. Brian, talk to us a little bit about the fact that you're a farm brewer because this is such a big topic today. Governor Cuomo is well behind these farm breweries, well behind these. Oh, he loves it, folks. He loves it.
Wow.
Thank
That's
you.
good. You know what? If you love it,
Wow.
that's a compliment. That really is.
Well, I've had a couple people come to me and say, "Well, I would like the jelly ring beer," and I'm thinking, I didn't make a jelly ring beer. I'm sorry. Well, what's that one? I said, "What's raspberry?" Well, yeah, I guess it is jelly ring. Yeah, so. People down here have called it the jelly ring beer, so it's probably going to be stuck
I like
with
that.
the jelly
Maybe
ring
a point
beer.
with them.
Yeah.
We'll see.
My guess is that this is very, very popular with people that like the jelly rings.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Yeah, very
cool.
much so.
As I was saying, a farm brewer is what you are. Just
Right.
explain to the folks what that means, that you've gone in business to make beer under the farm brewery license.
Right. So
His jeans are green. That's what you need.
It's
It's only going to get funnier,
That's pretty
folks.
much it,
Donovan
right.
is ripe.
we need more beer, I think.
Not that right. I'd showered.
So the farm brewer license is unique to Long Island. I think it's a great thing. I think Governor Cuomo is doing the right thing with us. He's making it easier for breweries to do business in New York, in Long Island. There's tax incentives. There's there's other types of other perks for us as far as the tasting rooms go. I mean, they make it very easy for us to have multiple auxiliary locations, and there's a very minute constriction on us, which is the amount of New York State grain that we are required to put into our beers. I believe at the moment...
I would say it's a privilege to put New York State malt into our beer. I mean, anything we can do to support the local industries here in New York, it just helps everybody. The more local we can keep this, the stronger it makes us as an industry.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I agree on that. I think that the malt houses are doing a good job. I think that in a year or two they'll really understand what we're looking for as brewers and really do the right thing for us.
They have to meet the market. They do.
They really do.
Yeah. I know they do.
That was actually a big question for our brewery because when we started out, there was zero New York grown grain or malt, none that could be had. And so basically what we did was we continued on with the malt that we were using as as hobbyists.
Sure.
We said, okay, that was working for what we were making for ourselves to drink. Let's continue. What we learned was it was really expensive to buy this German malted stuff. And we continued on. We paid extra money for that because we liked that flavor. We sampled American and Canadian grown malts from time to time to try to see if that could approximate the German grown and malted product. Nothing ever really made us want to convert. But when this farm brewery license became a possibility, we said, look, we really believe in bringing this to New York. We want to make this work. What we found was initially it was a little difficult to reproduce our pills. Like I was talking earlier about our extra special pills. We've been making that for a decade now.
Yep,
I mean, we were drinking it as for us, and then now as a commercial product. When we're now at the point where we are confident that this locally grown and malted Pilsner malt, we can make that beer that we really like. Yeah. And I think that says that we've gone, yes. Question from the audience.
The question from the audience. This is fantastic.
Is it lucrative for the farmers? So, I mean, as great as it is to have local malt, local grown grain, for what they can do with their property currently, is it worthwhile for these guys to be growing grain for you?
I wish we had a farmer here.
Well, the question is it worthwhile for the farmer to be growing?
Sure. Okay, right. Yeah.
Right.
Good point.
Just growing hops and whatnot, right?
Yeah, growing hops, like growing products locally for the local farm brewers. Is the return there in the investment for the farmers?
I think as long as
basically are you guys paying a premium for the locally grown beers?
Absolutely.
They are.
Absolutely, we are.
Well, that's
There's
the
no
thing is
question
when we first got the first locally grown hops, this stuff is really expensive compared to the mass-produced industrial products that people are brewing with. But so if you think about one thing I'd like to say to beer drinkers out there is you walk into your beer store or your local pub and you see something local on tap or in the bottle. And it costs more than the others. What we're doing is we are growing an industry here. We're growing an economy that is local. Our neighbors are the people that are growing this malt, that are growing these hops. We are supplying them with a means for them to pay their mortgage, to buy their own groceries, and so it costs a little more because we're not mass producing anything.
It's not because we're greedy. It's not a greedy issue.
We're doing this because we believe that good beer should be made and consumed by good people.
Absolutely.
There's no point in spending your drinking time drinking something that's mass-produced. And if we're going to reclaim any kind of share from this free market, we need to be willing to pay a little more to get Brian, and we saw Mike earlier,
Absolutely.
These guys are it's the beginning of a movement to bring our agricultural brewing industry and everything back to where it was when I was a kid. I grew up on a farm. We made wheat and did all these and that's the way it was. And we lost the farm to industrial agriculture. So this is kind of a way to like we're fighting the man here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wow, I didn't realize the background. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great.
Brian, we wish you all the best.
Thank you so
Nano
much.
Brewing
Thank you.
is you're one of 13, I think, today. 10 or between 10 and 13.
Yeah.
We want to get to each one of you.
Awesome.
And I know you got to get back to serving beer. So
Yep.
thank you so much,
Thank you
Brian.
so much for having
Thank
us.
you
I
so
appreciate
much.
it.
Absolutely.